I can't believe we're halfway through our school year. That's nuts to me. That went really fast and really slow, but overall, really fast. Hi and welcome. Thanks for joining me as I give my mid-year update. We are halfway through our school year. That's nuts to me, but we are. And so I'm going to share with you how it's been going since my last update, which was in October, I believe. And I kind of shared how the first chunk of our school year had gone, some changes we'd made. We've made some more changes. I don't think we've made quite as many. I don't think. Um, and I feel like this last chunk of our school year has gone pretty smoothly. I'm really happy with how it's gone overall. But before I jump into details, I do want to let you know that this video is part of a collaboration hosted by Davene at Commonly Chaos and Shauna at Homegrown Homeschool. I will link their channels below, so check them out. They have some great content. I will also leave the playlist link in the description below for you to watch other moms' homeschool updates and see how their years have been going. So check those out when you're done with this video. Several of the things I'm going to be talking about and the subjects that I'm doing, I've done actual review videos on. So if you're interested in any particular thing that I talk about and wondering if I have a review on that, check the description below and I'll try to link as many of those as I can as well if you want to see closer inside anything that we're using if I done a video on it. But let's just jump in. So I think last update I'm going to kind of try to follow the same format where I'm going to share with you kind of changes I'd made and then what's been working and what's not working. I guess changes I've made kind of goes with what's not working. We'll see how it goes. Anyhow, all that to say, one big change that I'd implemented this term, I guess at the beginning of this last term, and I'm calling every 3 months, or not every 3 months, but every chunk, because I have 4 chunks in my homeschool, the term. Whether or not that's the right term, I'm sorry, but we're going to go with it. One thing I implemented was a homeschool planner. Now, if you watched some of my videos, you saw that I have a homeschool binder, and I did a flip through of that, and I have not forsaken that homeschool binder. In fact, I think I have it right here. So I have this, and I did a flip through of what's inside of this, but I felt like I needed just a little bit more detailed planning than what I have with that. So a lot of the pages that I have in that are stayed the same, but a few of them I took out, and I actually am now planning out week by week in here. So my year, my field trips, my book lists, my weekly plan they're just kind of in an order of subjects. I'm actually planning it out by week. And for me, this is really nice because it provides me with a checklist for each day. Whether or not I do it, I really have liked that aspect of it. And it's worked really, really well. I think I found this planner on Amazon for like $12 or something like that. This was really cheap. It's an undated planner and it's worked really, really well for me. This has been a great, great implement. If you want to see inside how I plan in a comment below, I'd love to share that with you. So if this is of interest to you to see kind of how this planner is laid out / how I plan, let me know. I'll be happy to show. But that has been a good change, and I think that's helped me feel a little bit more structured. And I really like structure. We don't have to follow it to the T. In fact, if I don't do certain things, that's okay. I just cross them out with a different color ink, so I know that we missed these subjects rather than do that. But it does help me feel a bit more organized and less chaotic. And so that's been a nice change. And I think that's been one of the reasons that this last chunk of our homeschool has flowed pretty smoothly. So that's great. Another thing we changed, and if, again, you probably saw my video, or you may have seen my video, reviewing Zaner Blozer handwriting and why we didn't, it wasn't bad, but why we didn't connect with that. And then a new handwriting that we're going to try. We've been trying that. And I've torn the booklet up because I tear them up and put them in my kids' binders. So I'm not going to show you, but I'll pop a picture of it up here. And that's been like handwriting practice made fun. So we swapped over to that, and we've been doing that for a couple of weeks. And that has actually been a really good fit so far. My daughter thinks it's great fun. So score on that, not boring her to death. And I feel like it's at a good level for where she's at, which is something I was struggling with finding. So I think that's going to be a good fit. I think we're going to stick with that for a while. And I'm really happy about that because I was feeling like I was struggling a little bit in handwriting and what we needed to do with her to meet her advanced, but also she's still in kindergarten. So I didn't want to go too advanced, but she's definitely not in kindergarten workbook. So that whole drama was a little bit, I don't know, just, you find something, you're trying to find what fits for your child. And I think we might have found a fit. So that was a good change. Another thing we changed is with my preschooler, we added in Logic of English Foundations A. And this I'm super happy about. Again, if you watch my material, you know I love Logic of English. I've done a lot of videos on Logic of English, how to budget with them and how to, what edition teacher's manual you need, what pieces you actually need, because I am a firm believer in this program that I've been looking forward to using it with my younger daughter, but she has been a little bit less advanced, right? So my older daughter is very advanced, started reading really early. My younger daughter seems to be a little more on par with her level or her age level. And so only just recently have I felt like she's ready to just start this. We'll take it slow. We'll go at her pace. But so far, I'm trying to think, how many lessons in are we with this? And you don't have to do a lesson a day, but we're about 13 lessons in. And I feel like this was a good time to start it. And I've been happy with this. Before we started this, we finished Explode the Code, or not Explode the Code, their preset of Explode the Code book. So the get ready for the code, get set for the code, we go for the code A, B, and C. We finished that before we jumped into this. And I think that was a good move. I think that really helped her know her letter sounds a little bit better. And I feel like that it was just a good fit for her. And I feel like it gave us a good head start as we introduce alphabet sounds and start the reading process. With this program, I feel like that was a good thing. So I would say that has, I don't know, changed in that it didn't work well, but just changed in that we finished one and we've started the other. And I'm happy with how that's going so far. If you see me glance down, I'm sorry. I did have some notes because I want to remember everything. And I won't otherwise. Okay, let's see. So we are in changes for language arts still. So we did the handwriting, we did my preschoolers phonics. With my kindergartner, she is reading at like almost a second grade level. Comprehension, not quite there, but that's all right. We have been incorporating though because she struggles with longer words. So like 3 syllables and above are hard for her. I think she's just intimidated of it. So she's kind of guesses a word. So to help with that, we did not start at the beginning of this Ordinary Parent's Guide to Phonics, but I picked this up and I didn't think I was going to use it, but I actually found this to be really good for what we needed at the time. So I started kind of towards the second half to third of this book with her, where it's already taught her the basic phonics and now it's teaching her contractions, long syllable words, possessive words, things like that. And it's going to a little bit more detail about some of the harder aspects of reading, not just the basic phonics. And this has worked really, really well so far. We are super close to being done with this. I think there were like lesson 200 of like 235 or something like that. And this has really, really helped, I think, boost her confidence. And just, again, it's refreshed her on a lot of the concepts. And so I'd really like that. And while we've been doing that, I have paused on the Explode the Code that we were doing with her. I felt like she knew kind of what she was doing, but she wasn't really understanding it all the way. And so, but the earlier books were too easy for her. And the level book that I felt like she needed to be in was just too advanced. And so I felt like it wasn't what she needed at the time. So we paused that. I started this. And then maybe when we're done with this Ordinary Parent's Guide to Teaching Reading, we might start Explode the Code again with her. I'm not really sure. We'll see. And then lastly, well, not lastly, because we have 2 more changes with our language arts changes or relative or add-ins. With my preschooler, we started a little bit of handwriting. Handwriting is loose. She traces and she can try it on her if she wants. She really likes to trace. Her fine motor skill is actually pretty good with that. And her older sister does handwriting, so she wanted to do it. And so I had picked up a workbook. I think it's from Silva. I'll try to put a picture up here. A while ago, and I'm just letting her work through tracing that real slowly. She likes it. She likes writing better. She wants to learn how. So I feel like it's a good compromise that I'm not really worried about it. I'm trying to teach her the order of formation so she doesn't get in bad habits with her letters. But it's not really a big deal for what we're doing. So we're doing that. And then I'm also trying to incorporate narrations a little bit more with my kindergartner. I should have put these in order. I'm sorry I'm going back and forth between my 2 daughters, but we've been doing the McGuffey readers, and I think I mentioned that in my last update. And these are great for comprehension. But in order to help aid comprehension, I've been asking her to narrate that back to me what we read. And I think that's been a good move. And I discovered that if I ask her, what does it say? She'll give me like a really short sentence that covers like a tad bit of what it says. But if I ask her, tell me what you read like I hadn't heard it, she will give me a much more detailed and comprehensive description of what read. Still sometimes seems this stuff, but I've noticed that if she is trying to tell it to me like I didn't know the story that we just read, she'll do a better job. So I've discovered that's a good way about scheme, but I'm trying to incorporate that a little bit for her. And next year, I'm going to be incorporating that even more. I really want to incorporate narrations with some of what we're reading as a good comprehension guide and helping her process what she's read. So those are the things that we've kind of shifted or added or changed with language arts, not necessarily because things haven't been working, but because we had the end of some things or we need to add in or what have you. Another thing we're changing that is not language arts is, well, we're not changing, in fact, we're just shifting, is with German. So I've gotten about halfway through this program, and I think it's an excellent, excellent program. And my older daughter connects with it pretty well. My younger daughter is just a little bit slower. She's younger, and she's just not resonating, what's the word? She's just not picking up on it as well. She's not learning as quickly as I feel like we're going through the lessons. So We're not stopping this, but we are going to start back over at lesson 1. Now that we've gone through the first 20, I think out of 41 lessons maybe, or maybe we only got 18 or 19 lessons. We're almost 20. We're gonna go back to lesson 1 and start over everything we've learned. We can go fast through the lessons that they know really well and take it slower. But I think it might cement things a little better for my younger daughter to just do another review through and maybe pick up on what she hasn't picked up on again this time. So I'm hoping that will be good, and then we'll kind of keep going from there if I feel like they're both ready. I think my older daughter could continue from here, but I think my younger daughter is just not ready to continue on. So I'm hoping that by going back, uh, we'll get her ready to keep going when we hit that point again. We'll see. Okay, so those are things I've added, things have changed, things have shifted. I don't know what you want to say. Um, but things that we're doing that aren't working, and that we've altogether dropped or just aren't going as well as I would like. So piano, I had a goal. Well, I guess it depends. If you've seen my videos and my curriculum pick videos and all that, I had a goal of working on piano with my older daughter, and I was going to try and teach her using my first piano adventures series. I think I might be saying that wrong, but by oh, what is it? Piano Adventures, right? Isn't that what the series is called? Anyhow, I was going to do it. For various reasons, one of them being that we have somebody living with us for a time, and they were working in the mornings, and so I felt like when we were doing stuff in the mornings, it was really hard for me to then make noise, like make piano and interrupt their remote work. And then when they stopped, when that situation was no longer an issue, it just wasn't happening. So I think we're gonna stop trying. I think it's just one of those things that's not happening. And next year, I'm actually gonna just pay for piano lessons. I think that's just gonna take a load off me that's not necessary for me to be the one doing. And I think we probably could do it, but I think it will be better if I don't for the timing. So we're gonna pay for lessons next year, and I'm just not even gonna try with piano this year. We're just gonna take that pressure off, and not worry about it, and that's okay. Another thing that just wasn't happening that I'm so bummed because I was really excited about it, but not all the things happened that we're excited about. Um, I was gonna do a co-op this year. It was gonna meet twice a month. It's outdoors, it's free, God-centered, nature-centered, and it seemed like a really good fit, and it just hasn't happened. We made it to one. Didn't make it to one or two. And for various reasons, we just haven't made it anymore. And I finally texted the lady who runs it and says, "Look, I just don't know that we're gonna make it. It's just not happening." And part of that is it's so cold here in winter. That with my 2-year-old, it's really hard to want to bundle them up and stay outside for 2 or 3 hours. And then it's over their lunchtime, and it just hasn't. And maybe it's my fault for not making it a priority, but it just hasn't happened. And so I'm just taking the pressure off needing to do that. We can still join. She said we're welcome to come what we want at times, but it's not necessarily in my plans per se to do so. I just want the pressure off on that, and I'll have to figure out something else for next year, I guess, because it's just as much as I thought it was going to work really well, it just didn't. So letting go of that dream. And then another thing that I wouldn't say isn't working well, but I think is just not currently what we're doing is I've been incorporating a little bit of drawing with this book, Drawing with Children, and I love this book from what we've done. Um, but my younger daughter is too young. My older daughter, probably I could do this with a little bit more, but I don't really want to do just one of them. They both love art so much. So I feel like doing it with just one of them isn't really a great idea. And I feel like it would just be frustrating for my younger daughter. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to hold off and just enjoy art for the sake of art with them right now. And maybe next year or the year after, try to do that book when they're both at a level where I can do it together. But I do plan to use that with them. So it's not a not working, it's just a not yet. I was trying a little too early, which tends to be a thing with me, but that's okay. I feel like I'm okay with trying too early as long as I'm willing to drop it if it's not working. I don't want to frustrate people, but I don't mind seeing if it's going to work. So, that's where it's okay. So those are change and made. Things that aren't working well, and now things that are working well. Like I said, if you've watched my videos, my curriculum picks, my updates, you'll probably already have guessed a good amount of these. But the things that are working well, I'll try to just run through them fairly quickly. First, language lessons. Love it. Working great. I am sold on this. I will probably do this with every single one of my children, at least the first 2 levels. Loving this. I don't know if we'll go beyond the first 2 levels with this, but for the time being, that's working really, really well. I mentioned that we're doing these McGuffey readers as additional comprehension and just vocabulary expanders and all that. I'm enjoying this. I like the stories. These are great. My daughter's enjoying it. No problem there. Another component of reading, by the way, those are both things I'm doing with my kindergartner. Another thing I'm doing with my kindergartner is she's reading these and then telling me what she read. This is going great. They're nature readers. She's enjoying that. I feel like it's a good independent thing she can do when I'm working with my younger daughter. So that's going really, really well. And then for both of them, I'm doing like whoa, I just see myself in the Facebook app. I'm doing first grade math with confidence with my kindergartner and kindergarten math with confidence with my preschooler. This is both going really, really well. I love math with confidence. It's just the way it is. It's one of those things I keep expecting, especially with my kindergartner. We're like halfway through first grade math. I keep expecting to have to slow down with her, and I'm just not having to. I don't feel like this math is slow in that, like, you look at it and you're like, oh, your kids are both in a level above what you're doing or their age range. But it breaks down math so well and that it makes math feel easy to me and easy to teach. And I feel like my children learn it easily, just the way it's structured. And so I think as a result, being a grade ahead, at least at this point, hasn't been a problem. If they need to slow down at some point, no problem. I'm not pressuring them through it, but these are good fits for them right now, and it's going well. Okay, let me see. Another thing that's going well for my kindergartner, I would say, is 180 days of grammar. Not grammar, I'm sorry. 180 days of geography, a very difficult thing. I'll pop some pictures up, and I would say that's a good. I don't know that she's learning a ton of geography, but it's a really good piece of independent work for her to practice doing independently. That's easy. It only takes her a few minutes. She reads the instructions and does it herself. And so I really like that dynamic of her learning to do some things by herself, and that's been a good fit in that way. Okay, I think the other things that have been going well are group subjects. So, are no, not a group subjects, but so logic is going well. They both do their own logic. They're building thinking skills from Critical Thinking Company, so they're each doing a level in that, and that's going well. And then the group subjects that are going well right now are poetry tea time. My kids love when I have the time and energy to do it. I will confess I haven't been as faithful to do it as I would like, but not because it's not going well, because me. That's a me thing. Um, and then our Bible reading time, our memory work time, our memory scripture memorization time, that's going great. I'm still really, really liking this building on the rock, our Bible, and it's more of a worldview / Bible survey curricula. This is great. I'm going to do the next level next year, unless something happens. That's my plan. Going really, really well. And then lastly, the thing that's going really, really well are read alouds, which kind of surprised me, not because I expected our read alouds to be terrible, because I've not really loved reading aloud to my children in the past. And I feel like this year we found some books that are at their level, and we found some books that I enjoy reading. And I'm discovering that I enjoy reading chapter books to my children more than I enjoy reading picture books to my children. I don't know why. Maybe because I enjoy the chapter books a little bit too. And as we find books that are at their level and they enjoy, I don't know, I'm enjoying their enjoyment. That's a lot of enjoying. But anyway. And so I've actually been really encouraged in that I find that I'm enjoying reading aloud to my children more and they're enjoying the process more. And so I'm like, oh, I can actually do this. And so especially as I'm like, there's several things I'm going to be reading aloud to them next year and my plans for next year at any rate. I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually not out of the range of realistic that I could read aloud a lot of books to them because it's not as much of a chore as it used to be. Don't bash me. I know some people have loved it from the beginning. I have not been one of those. It's been a journey, but I've been really happy with that. And I felt like we found some good read alouds for them. So I've been happy with how that has been going. Okay. I think I've got everything. So quick overview. This last chunk of our school year went really well. I feel like we've been in more of a groove, in more of a pattern. I feel like I'm not as chaotic as I was at the beginning of the school year. I feel like things have settled in. I've kind of just got a method, and I feel like it's working well. Our schedule is working pretty well. There are days, especially when my toddler and one of the girls who's I'm not currently doing school with is fighting in the background. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I thought I was a more patient person than I am when that happens. I really have to watch my own anger at that point, or my own frustration when my children are just bickering behind me and I'm trying to focus with one child and I can't. Tell me you've been there. Tell me you've been there, please. I know I'm not the only one. But other than that, I would say that's my main focus this year is this next chunk is trying to not get frustrated at that, but deal with it and figure out how to deal with that well. But other than that, I'm feeling really good about how things are going. I'm feeling really good about where we're at with the changes we've made, the things we've added, the things we've finished. Yeah, I'm really happy with where we're at. So comment below any questions, any comments, let me know. Yeah, whatever you have for me, throw it at me. And I will be making another video for you guys soon. Looking forward to it. And as always, thank you so much for yours.